All right. Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great example to his younger brothers. And peace and blessing salutations to the hopeful leg out there pushing his word in truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful leg, the believers, the listeners whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua. And what I want to get into this morning, is a article on RT, and it speaks about how realistic, all right, is an Israel-Iran war. And we know, according to prophecy, it's going to be very realistic, all right, according to prophecy. It must be, all right. And as we pay attention, to these war, all right, moves being made in the earth, we're seeing that the Bible is lining up, all right, exactly, all right, in real time. So what I want to get into this article, because Iran and Israel is going to be a major factor in starting off this World War III. We pay attention, to other, theaters of war, China, Taiwan and Australia. Then you have, Russia, you know, with the intentions, invading our Ukraine, you know. But the real hot zone, there's going to start that trickle effect that's going to spiral into nation against nation, ruler against ruler. All right, you gotta pay close attention to Iran and these Israelis, man. All right. Now, it says the drums of war have been beaten loudly. If one were to take a recent headlines about Israel and Iran seriously. But Israel cannot act militarily against Iran without U.S. support, and the U.S. would never support such an action. Well, they're not going to have a choice. All right? According to prophecy, they're not going to have a choice. Now, when you read this in Jeremiah 50 and 22, it says a sound of battle is in the land. And they just told you what war drums, all right, are sounding. A sound of battle is in the land and of great destruction, because this war, this conflict between these Israelis, all right, these 1948ers and Iran, all right, which are the Persians, is going to lead to great destruction. It's going to lead to the most destructive war that the earth has ever seen. All right. So when you go back to the article, it says, but Israel cannot act militarily against Iran without U.S. support, and the U.S. would never support such an action. All right. Well, it ain't up to what people think the U.S. won't support. It's about what Yahweh Bashim Shah wants, man. His intent. That's what's going to be performed in the earth. This is Proverbs 19 and 21. It said, there are many devices in a man's heart. Nevertheless, the counsel of the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Shah, that shall stand. You see, that shall stand. So it don't matter what men want to do and don't want to do. It's the counsel of the Lord that's going to stand. And according to the counsel of the Lord, which is contained within the scriptures, what does it say about this situation, man, that we're reading about? All right. This is Jeremiah 49 and 20. It says, therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Shai, that he taketh against Edom, and his purposes that he have purpose against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. And the least of the flock is speaking of these Israelis, man. All right. And this tension between them and Iran is going to draw all these major superpowers in the war. All right. Because those Israelis, it's seeming like, it's building up to them doing something impulsive. All right. And Iran going to be wearing their ass out over there. And America going to have to jump in, man. You see? Because Iran scrapped up and ready, man. When you go into their region over there, Iran, all right, has a lot of proxy armies. They have a lot of military equipment everywhere. They have a lot of upgraded technology that they got from Russia. It's going to go down over there, man. All right? And America going to have to jump in. And you go to that word All right. In the Hebrew, which is sakab, sakab. All right, which means to drag. All right. So America's gonna be drugged into this war by the actions of these Israelis, man. All right. Now it says, reading on, it says a meeting between the Israeli Defense Minister Benny Gantz and the U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin last week has led many to speculate that Israel, with the backing of Washington, is preparing a war with Iran over its nuclear program. Gantz made it clear to Austin that Israel is very concerned about the U.S. rejoining the Joint Comprehensive Program of Action, or JCPOA, more commonly referred to as the Iran nuclear deal. The preferred Israeli course of action would be for the U.S. to continue tightening economic sanctions, with Israelis carrying out covert campaigns to diminish Iran's nuclear and ballistic missile capability, while simultaneously sowing paranoia and concern in the ranks of the Iranian leadership. In short, the Israelis want the administration of President Joe Biden to continue the Iranian policy of his predecessor Donald Trump. Now, if you notice, with this whole, with Republican Democrat, we know they work for the same elitists, you know, but they use both of these parties to carry out different agendas. Now, the Republicans always had a tough stance, against Iran, you know, but you had the Democrats because under Obama, that's where you got, the Iran nuclear deal, you know. They lifted those different sanctions off, Iran. They was able to flourish, economically. But under Trump, what did you have? You had the withdrawal and pretty much the dismantling of the JCPOA, which put them sanctions back on Iran. So them Israelis like, look, they pretty much telling Biden them don't go back into this agreement with them. So Biden going, if Biden, all right, is told to go back into this agreement with Iran, I'm speculating that them Israelis gonna get very impulsive and start, pretty much doing some some strikes, all right, in Iran, really trying to touch Iran. So if that happen, you can get ready, man. And we know, all right, there's other prophecy that's gonna build up, that have to play out before just all out war in the earth. But it don't take long. Things gonna happen quick. Things gonna move quick. That's why Yahweh Shah said, I'm a thief in the night. You see, things can happen real quick, man. And it says, reading on, it says, Gantz was preceded in Washington D.C. by David Bernero, the head of Israel's intelligence service, the Mossad. All right, Bernero provided his U.S. counterparts with new Israeli intelligence concerning the Iran nuclear program to dissuade the U.S. from rejoining the JCPOA, with Trump, all right, uh, precipitously, which means swift, without thought. It says withdrew from in May 2018. He said the Israeli top spy was asked with putting the U.S. on notice that Israel would never stop viewing Iran as a threat with or without the JCPOA, and that Israel would not be bound by the deal should the U.S. re-enter that agreement. Yeah, so the Israelis said, look, we don't care about no agreements. We're going to look at these people as a threat, and we're going to handle them as such. All right? Showing you that the Lisa flock going to do what they want to do, because why? They are commissioned through the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Al Shai to get this thing jumped off, man. And nothing going to persuade them otherwise, man. It says Iran will not have nuclear weapons, not in the coming years, not ever. That is my promise. That is Messiah's promise, Bernier said after his meeting. So we going to see, man. All this tough talk, we going to see, man. You know? War drums, let's get it, man. This my type of party, man. It's been, they do little things here and there, ain't nothing major, that jumped off, but it's gonna happen, man. I'm gonna end it here. Now this is Isaiah 21:2. It says, a grievous vision is declared unto me. The The treacherous dealer treacherously, all right? The treacherous dealer treacherously, which is America, and the spoiler. It says, "Go up, O Elam," which is speaking what? Iran, in modern day Iran. "Besiege, O Media," which is speaking of modern day Russia. "All the signs thereof I have made to cease." Yeah, because America has been the grief to these nations, man. You know? But what do you see, man? Russia aggressive. 150,000 troops on the border. Heavy military equipment on the border of Ukraine. What do you see in Iran? All right? Strikes on U.S. military bases, man. Missile strikes. All right? They're coming in the stand. So look, we tired of just sitting here complaining about you niggas, man. We gonna do something. So it's gonna be a build up to it, and things have to play out, but things are in motion, man. So I just wanted to put that out there. Quick World War III update. Lord will you brothers and you few sisters were edified. Till next time, Shalom.